Today I'm going to react to some of my oldest long form videos. And at the end, I'll tell you why I think every 18-year-old should try to start a business, or if you're in your 20s, why you should give it a shot, even if you have no experience. We're so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. And if you don't mind hitting that small, innocent subscribe button, you can tell YouTube that you want to see more videos like this. And the fact that you support me, support the channel, means that I'll be able to put even more into making videos that actually help you start and grow your business. Let's get into it. How to overcome the fear of failure now and for good.
Use that to overcome it in your life. And so one of the first things I had to realize is, what is it about failing that scares me? Why do I have this fear of failure, right? And I think for me, there's a big...
So I'm gonna pause it real quick to say that why have I made these videos on failure and fear? To me, fear was such a huge thing that kept me from taking that first step, held me back for multiple years, made me give up on multiple things. It's really one of those simple things, simple in the way that if you can overcome this one thing, you're already gonna be such a huge step forward, or sorry, ahead of so many other people. It's been nothing but beneficial to me to get over my fear and to continue to take further and further steps to eliminate it, or deal with it, overcome it, whatever you want to say.
Connection between the fear of failure and thinking about sales for entrepreneurship or starting a business. The fear that I wouldn't be able to convince someone to buy something of me, and if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't get any money, obviously. And if I didn't get any money, I wouldn't be successful. And if I wasn't successful immediately, people would laugh at me and think that basically I was a failure and that I could never make it work. And I put a lot of this fear of failure, I projected onto the friends and family I had around me.
Yeah, so I was terrified of asking someone for a sale and them saying no. And looking back, I mean, obviously it's easy to kind of retrospectively be able to diagnose it and say why, but for me, it was a lack of belief in the quality of what I was selling. So back when I was selling the first shirts, I didn't like the shirts. I think when I was trying to rent out the speakers, I was afraid of just actual no, and like, okay, if I try and I fail, that means it's over for some reason. But I think later it was more, or like earlier and later, it was more related to not being proud of the thing that I was selling. And proud in the sense of just like knowing the real value in it. And so once I realized that and then attacked that and fixed that as much as I could, I felt much better about it. I also just got better at understanding what fear actually is and how it affects me, how it's, you know, as Hormozis like to say, a mile wide, but an inch deep. As soon as you step into it, it fizzles out. So that was the first video. Let's move on to the second one. Start a business and get your first 4 customers in 4 to 12 weeks.
When you want to start a business, there are 3 main things you need. You need an idea or an offer, something you can provide. You need demand for the thing that you're selling or providing. And you need a way to charge people for what you provide.
I would actually even go as far as reversing the order of the first 2 and say you need demand first, because you're gonna base your offer off of the demand. Like even when someone goes, oh, I want to become an editor, rarely does it happen that someone just wants to be an editor. Usually it's because they know that someone will want them to edit their videos. It's kind of subconsciously in there or implicitly in there. There's no business without demand. There's no business without problems. We should welcome the problems. But I still stand by, like, you need the demand, then you need the offer, then obviously you need a way to get paid. That's breaking it down as simple as it can be.
And so ideally, we want to deliver an offer, or we want to provide a service that is such a good deal that people should feel stupid for saying no, or it should feel like a no-brainer for people to say yes.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is taken completely from Hormozi's book, right? But making an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no. If you don't present your offer and someone goes, what's the catch here? In my eyes, at least, it's not good enough. Like, you want it to be an obvious yes for someone who has that issue. It's not going to be an obvious yes for anybody. or for everyone. Like, that's rarely going to be the case. But for the people with the issue who's maybe considered something like that, depending on their level of awareness, you're going to do much better if you can position or put it together in a way and communicate it in a way that people just go, yeah, obviously it sounds great, but like, I just want to make sure like I'm not making a mistake here. 3 reasons to document your startup journey.
Reasons for why you should document while you're starting or building your business. The first reason is all the videos that I've recorded until now serve both as great memories and nostalgia, but they also serve as proof of my progress.
Yes, that's 100% true. I mean, since day one, I've recorded these behind the scenes videos documenting my journey. Since the beginning of 2025 last year, I've done it every week. And it's been a huge benefit for me to have these videos that I release gradually. I have an entire playlist on them. But essentially, being able to go back and track the progress that you've made, or in my case that I've made, of course it's super nostalgic, but also it shows you how far you've come. Like, when I go back and I look at what was my objective back then, things were so different, and my level of expertise is different, my experience is different, how I approach problems is different, how I react to things is very different. And if I hadn't had this documentation, I might have a memory of it, but chances are the memory is going to be heavily biased by where I am now. And so the fact that I can go back and rewatch it is absolutely incredible. And this is huge props to GaryVee. I decided to do this after reading Crushing It, which was also what got me into actually posting on social media in the first place. And I'm really, really grateful that I've done so. Even though a lot of the videos are like rambling videos, it's just super fun to go back and look at it and see, oh, that's when I was at this point in the journey. And for someone who might go like, how, you know, in the future when I'm at a certain point, how did he get there? Then they'll be able to watch everything, which is really cool, I think. All right, tough love I needed when I started my business.
And to fail, and actually to be consistent and to work hard and to take action. The expectation adjustments or reframings that I want to share with you in this video are: 1, there is no win without failure.
True. Absolutely true. I heavily agree with this. Honestly, I could just stop it here. Like, I wouldn't need to say anything else. I, for a long time, thought I could plan my way out of making mistakes. If I just researched enough, I could have the right strategy. And with the right strategy, I would be able to, you know, figure out in advance all the things that could go wrong. I'd allocate the resources, the budget the right way. It ended up costing me so much time, and in several of those cases, I never moved forward with the thing that I was working on, hence the failed previous businesses. Like, to give you actual concrete examples of how I've done this, can be small things as when I decided that I was going to help people start their own businesses, like you writing a script for when you're reaching out to people and not getting the inputs you thought or the responses you thought based off of that script. Like, if you're not going to have the perfect script initially, should I then not start? No, obviously not. So that was just like one aspect of everything. And it's the same as, oh, if I'm not going to be the perfect coach, if I'm not going to deliver the perfect product from the first try, should I then not do it? Obviously not. Of course you should still do it. You should just be okay with knowing that you're gonna make mistakes. And like, the further I get into this, the more proud I am of making those mistakes, because it means that I'm trying. And every one of those mistakes will give me an opportunity to get better. That's been the entire source of my growth. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. It still hurts, like it's rough and it hurts and it's challenging, but when I look back, I can tell immediately that everything that I've learned and everything that I've become comes from the things that I've been courageous or brave enough to try. Please, you cannot avoid making mistakes. You can limit the mistakes you make by trying to listen to other people and avoid making big bets. But you can't avoid making mistakes, because in the beginning there's so many things you don't know.
if you're considering starting a business, you will never start the business and not fail before you succeed. The chances of that happening are probably infinitely low. And so if you keep placing that expectation on yourself that it should work out the first time, or you should make it work right after you get started with it, then you put a huge amount of pressure on yourself to do well initially. And that pressure is very likely to keep you from even being okay with getting started.
100% true as well. So the first part, obviously, I kind of just repeated, but the second part is because I had that expectation, the pressure I put on myself was one of the things that caused me to not start for a long time. And obviously, I can't change it. And so things have gone the way they should go. I've learned the things I needed to learn up until this point. Amount of pressure you put on yourself to be perfect can be good when you are trying to make something as good as it can be, 100%. But with something so daunting as getting into business, pursuing a career or a degree or whatever it is, changing your health and fitness, for instance, if you're considering like making a weight transformation, the desire to be perfect on the first try can be the very thing that keeps you from even starting. And wouldn't that be the biggest shame? I think so. Let's take the last one. So why you should start a business at 18? To be honest with you, like I think every 18-year-old should try this, and this doesn't require any experience, but let's see.
Some of those existing players and surprise them by how incredibly hard you've worked and how far you've come. And so that leads me to the third reason, which is there is no real downside to starting a business if you do it in the right way. And what do I mean by the right way, right? That's a great question again. What I mean by the right way is the way that is least likely to make you quit. And in most people's cases, that is probably going to be a service or an online business that is low capital intensive. And so if you start an online business, start an online service business where you don't have to invest a lot of money, and it's something that you can run next to having that part-time job, or it's something that you can leverage your experience from your part-time job to do yourself on the side, then there are multiple benefits. And so the reason I say that there is no downside is the first outcome is that it works out immediately. You leverage some kind of experience you might find out that you had anyway, or you just might strike it lucky the first time for some reason, and it ends up working out. You get rich, you get money, and fulfillment from starting the business. You know, that's a dream scenario, right? The second outcome is that it doesn't work out immediately, but you continue, you do the work for free initially, get the reviews, get the testimonials, you improve, you adjust, you pivot, you continue, you don't give up, and 5 years down the line, suddenly you have your breakthrough. Now it works out, again, you get the money, you get the fulfillment, right? Also good. Now, the third scenario is that before you can make it work, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of if you're willing to continue for long enough, but before you can make it work, you decide to quit. Ooh, we don't like that. That's not good. But unfortunately, that's the reality for some people. And in some cases, it's because that the business was too high capital intensive, that they couldn't sustain it for long enough to make it work. If you're in this situation, then fear not. This is still not a downside. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because all the time, all the effort, all the resources that you have poured into making it work in the course of the half year, the full year, the multiple years, all that have provided you with personal growth, skills, and experience that you can now leverage to one, either start a new business that you found out you could start successfully, or, and this is the second reason, you can go out there and get a better job. One either that is more fulfilling, you know, better benefits or co-workers, or has higher pay, for instance.
If you're 18, if you're at the end of high school, if you're getting into college, listen to me for a second, like hear me out. If you try to start a business that requires a very low capital, meaning that you're not sacrificing a whole lot just besides your time, then the only thing you're sacrificing is your time. Of course, you can also say, oh, well, experiences with friends or family that I'm now not gonna have because of this priority, right? And you're not wrong. But also, why do you get a job? Well, you get a job to pay your bills later. Okay, so if this is gonna get you a better job later, or a more fun job, or a more flexible job, then like, is it not an investment for the future, just like college or university or other school education might be? The thing here that I want to really highlight is that the two outcomes. You either win and you get the thing that you were actually aiming for, or you get the experience. And it's a win in either case. Either you get the outcome, you get the money, and you can do whatever you want now, or you get the experience that you can then put into a job and you'll be more qualified now to get some other kind of job. And if you're going to get a job anyway, now you're just more qualified because you've got an experience that a lot of people don't have. Because trying to start a business forces you to become good at, or at least try to become good at, so many different things. You have to learn to make a product, you have to learn to present that product, you have to learn to advertise, you have to learn to sell, you have to learn to deliver, you have to learn customer service, and like those are the overall branches. And then obviously there's so many sub skills that go into each of those buckets. It is a lot. Like, I'm not trying to say it's not a lot. For instance, something like sales, psychology, behavior, marketing, these are skills that you can use in every other aspect of your life. How you present yourself, how you make deals later, how you talk to other people, how you communicate, group work. Like, these are not just things that are specifically relevant in business. They apply to every other area of your life, and you can use them for the rest of your life, and you just get better at them. So the fact that you spend maybe a year or two trying this out at the end of your high school years, at the beginning of university or college, wherever you are, is going to be such a great free investment in your skills for the long run. And with so many people aiming for high-paying jobs initially, getting degrees that don't actually pay that well, or that might not be, great predictors of high-paying jobs, having those skills yourself will just give you so much more of a competitive edge. Yeah, if you're 18, if you're in your 20s, if you're just starting out in the job market, then you could spend 2 to 4 hours every day trying to learn, picking, learning, and becoming good at a skill, then trying to sell that. And the experience you would get from doing that and seeing what it takes will give you so much more understanding of just what it takes for a business in general. What are the incentives for the different levels of employees? That's gonna allow you to be so much more successful in a corporate environment, for instance. So that's why I think you don't lose by trying it out. If you at the same time know that you have to fail, you don't have to be worried about making mistakes because you can't not make mistakes, then I think it's going to be quite fun as well. And if you're really in it for the entrepreneurship journey, then check out some of the other videos I've made. It's gonna give you a lot more detailed advice on actually what to pick, how to get started, and kick it off from there. So if you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if there's anything else you wanna see. If there's anything you hated about this, I'll catch you next week. Stay disciplined.